good evening once again. Welcome to Ginsomnia Nights. Thank you for tuning in. And once again, I am your host, M. Jack Pacheco. Joining me is Matthew Palayo. Hello.
Hey, another
And
time to podcast.
for to- for tonight's guest, our guest for tonight is actually a very special person, someone very dear to us. She works in the film industry, but for us, I guess you could call her as our second mother. She's one of our closest, friends. We can
She
call
is my
her,
mother.
yeah.
Nag-send
Uh,
na ako ng DNA test di pa bumabalik.
Let me introduce to you to Mrs. Teresita Villareal, or as we call her, Tita Terry. Hello, Tita. Good
Hi,
evening.
Tita Terry.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining
Yes,
us
you
tonight.
are our extended family,
Oh,
our
Oh,
diba?
thank
additional
you.
children.
Love it.
Yes. Our family has grown since we met you.
So
That's
how are
cool.
you doing tonight, Tita?
um, okay and not exactly okay because of
Mm,
things happening, you know,
yeah.
in the company where I work for.
Mm, I think we all get
Yes.
that. But for the
Yes.
audience sake, would you care to introduce yourself, like what you do and, professionally?
Uh, I am I've been with ABS-CBN for 14 years. I'm a marketing practitioner actually. I was hired in 2007 by their marketing head, but since I joined, I've been around. I think I've changed departments in ABS-CBN two times already.
Mm,
So currently, I'm with a subsidiary. It's called Creative Programs Inc. or CPI. I still handle marketing, but I also handle cable sales.
mm-hmm.
So sales and marketing basically.
So how are things so far right now in the industry? Do you have anything to, say, especially at these times that uh our country, especially our media, is at a crossroads, at
Mhm.
a turmoil, if you could say.
Uh, it's a very critical time for media right now, especially with the shutting down of ABS-CBN. It has definitely affected the industry as a whole, but it has also affected press freedom, which I think not
Mm,
everybody
exactly.
understands. But with one of the major networks shut down, then we have stopped giving people a choice in their
Exactly.
information sources
Mm-hmm.
and also entertainment and news. So I think some of the people feel that and realize that, but not everybody does right now. Well,
Tell us more, Tita, about that. The
Mm-hmm.
press free, how the shutting down of ABS-CBN is majorly a press freedom issue.
yeah, I think it has affected press freedom in a number of ways. I can think of a couple. For one thing, because you've shut down one of the biggest sources, then you've left the people with hardly any choice. With just one choice for their source of news and information, and we're talking about GMA. Not that they're a credible source, but
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
when it comes to things like this, it's best to have a number of choices, diba? Para people see all
Multiple
sides. Yes,
choices, yes.
'Di ba? Tama. Parang sa buffet lang yan,
correct.
Tita. Pag isa lang yung pagkain sa
Diba?
buffet, 'di
Oo
ba? Masarap
yun
ba
nga
Yes,
yun?
eh.
especially at a time like this, these pandemic times when,
Oo. Kailangan
information
may
is the
choice ang
biggest
tao,
commodity we
diba?
can have. Hmm. But how has that affected you though,
Oo.
personally, as a worker, as part of ABS?
Mm. And nasasabi kasi na our journalists have been, too hard hitting But I think it's not exactly fair. I think that that's said a lot of times kasi kami yung maingay kasi kami yung malaki. So well, we can't help it. And dinescribe din nung head of news namin na I think it's also how they frame the news. It's how they contextualize. These journalists kasi they don't just read the news so they add context, they add nuance. Kaya napupuna, kaya minsan nakakasakit,
Yes.
'di ba? In one of the last hearings, kinumpare yung news ng GMA sa ABS. Yung GMA, it's just a plain statement. Yung ABS, meron na siyang konteksto, title pa lang. Kaya minamasama ng mga natatamaan na politiko. It just
So
Diba?
they think that
it's
it's biased or
biased.
something.
Ganun kasi yung nila philosophy nila. They don't just report the news. So kaya
They add their own
kaya mainit
insights.
ang dugo sa amin ng gobyerno. Pero naman parang sa amin no one is unfortunately no one is spared, kumbaga.
In what way?
We point out, let's say, some things we don't agree with, whether or not parang lahat ng uri ng gobyerno pupunahin namin. Hindi dahil sa dilawan kami, ganun. Kasi nung mga ibang gobyerno, ganun din naman sila tumira.
Exactly,
Oo.
di ba?
Yeah.
Parang kahit sino naman yung nakaupo sa gobyerno ngayon, pare-parehas lang aatakin ng mga journalists yan.
Yun nga.
Atake talaga yung term. Pero I think that's
tama,
appropriate
exactly.
naman. Because our politicians are really worth criticizing, di ba?
Yeah, and I think that's where, freedom of press comes in, freedom of speech
Exactly,
comes
di
in.
ba?
Because what are we gonna talk about except for the current state and affairs of the current status quo of the government or the country in general?
Para malaman ng tao, di ba? Para ma-educate sila.
It's
At
information.
If they have to take a stand, then kailangan matutunan nila yung buong sitwasyon, di ba? Kaso may ibang politiko na masyado silang sensitive, di ba? So they take it against us and we're labeled biased, kingmaker, so kaya mainit ang dugo sa amin ng gobyerno.
That's somewhat sad to hear. But then again, I think that everyone's biased in their own way naman.
Agree.
No one can be fully neutral talaga.
Yun nga ang I think that has to be achieved, that people take a stand, di ba? I think now is the time na people stop being complacent and neutral kasi maraming nangyayari sa kapaligiran natin na hindi naman tama, di ba? So they have to speak
Kaya nga
up.
di ba? So parang ano nga ba yun? May isang quote na sinabi na parang if you're neutral in times of oppression daw, parang you're siding with the oppressor. I don't know who said that. Pero yeah, parang ganun.
Or parang yung kanta lang ni Lolita Carbon. Wala ka bang napapansin?
Sige, buuin mo, Matt. Ay, Jack.
Sa iyong mga kapaligiran.
Galing,
But anyway, Tita, I would
Yes.
like to ask lang, how is, I guess siguro, ABS as a whole, how is the company dealing with this situation? Like, are you doing something to remedy or help in the struggle or help achieve that, parang mabalik ulit yung system or something? Because no one knows anything at this point, I
mabalik
think.
uli ang network sa
Or
ere.
the network, yeah. Or what are you doing naman to
Alam
remedy
mo,
that?
to be honest, I don't think we're doing anything. Parang tinanggap namin yung decision ng government kahit na masakit.
And it's
Oo,
unfair though.
it is unfair. Kasi parang in the end, it's a quote-unquote personal battle. We don't want to use our own issues to create a national one, even if it just might become a national one. Kaya tanggap ng kumpanya eh. Kaya hindi kami nagsi-spearhead ng People's Initiative or appeal. I haven't heard of
Yeah.
anything being done to that effect. Kasi in the last 2 days, the company retrenched hundreds and soon to be
Yes, I saw
thousands
that.
of people. Kung ilalaban namin yung franchise, hindi kami magre-retrench. Kaso parang tinanggap nila ng company. So kung maybe in the future, if something happens, if let's say the government itself decides to reverse its decision, then thank you. But in the meantime, I think the company
I
has
hope
accepted
so.
it eh. Diba?
It's kind of sad to
But
hear.
if you look back at the history of the Lopez family, ganyan sila eh. Kasi this is not the first time that the network
Of course. And the first time was more
kasi
intense, diba,
talagang
tita?
sinakop eh. It was physically, sequestered from them. So, nung time na yon, tinanggap din nila, sinequester eh. So, naghintay sila. Hinintay nila yung magkaroon ng pagbabago sa gobyerno before they claimed it again. And it took 14 years. So ganun palagay ko ang mangyayari. They will wait. They will wait for the best time. But
Well, the truth always waits naman talaga.
that's a good
Tita,
thing.
were you aware of the news a couple days ago when the president said that he didn't really mention it directly, pero he said that the oligarchy was
Dismantled. Yes.
dismembered,
Yes.
dismantled.
Without
'Di ba? Napaka ang kapal ng
yun
mukha niya
nga.
sabihin yun.
And what's funny,
No? Parang may pumalit lang
kaya
na
nga,
oligarchy, 'di ba? Parang
ang nakakatawa, pinagtatakpan siya ng mga ng mga tauhan niya na no, they were not referring to the Lopezes. But they found a recording. They found
Yeah.
a recording in full really naming the Lopezes in ABS-CBN.
Kasi 'di ba yung 'di ba palagi siya nagpapa-press ko ng mga madaling
Yes.
araw.
Oh my God.
And parang nakat ata yung part dun about sa Lopezes. Kaya nga parang I think may isang representative na nagpa-file na dapat daw i-play
Kaya
lahat ng,
nga.
'di ba? I think that's law naman
Exactly.
talaga. That's in the na kailangan hindi cut yung sinasabi ng Pangulo.
Exactly.
Tapos ngayon, kinakat nila for the sake na hindi siya
Diba?
magmukhang mali.
So it's tailored
Oo
talaga.
Kaya talaga, siguro kasama rin sa press freedom yon, di ba? Hindi nabibigay sa atin yung tunay na yung
Exactly,
truth.
'di ba?
Exactly.
Masyado siyang sinusugarcoat. Kaya delikado para sa taong bayan. Hindi natin alam kung anong tunay. Yun ang nakakalungkot, di nyo ba napapansin? Kasi there are always
Yes,
spin
tita.
doctors na suddenly what's being fed us,
Sobra,
what's being fed
tita.
us is not the truth. And kanina nga or kahapon, I was starting to wonder, parang, bakit ganon? Mali ba yung pagkarinig ko or yung paniniwala ko? Parang bang, ako ba yung may problema? Pero, di ba?
Yeah. sad once you get to that point that you start to question if
Remember
nagkulang
when
ka
the
ba?
spokesperson said na yung regarding the rising cases of the COVID, na
Mhm.
parang they wanted to beat the
Oo
prediction of
nga.
UP daw. Tapos parang a few days later, tama naman yung UP. So parang ano ba, sino ba yung
Kaya
kalaban
nga
natin,
eh.
'di ba? Parang
I don't know, pero yung these predictions, they sound very arbitrary to me. Parang, kumbaga
predictions
parang
of what?
Of COVID.
of COVID cases, kung ilan ba talaga yung totoong
Oo.
cases ng affected or kung ano talaga. Parang it sounds very arbitrary to me na
Oo.
parang, kumbaga parang may masabi lang sila just to, keep the people calm para lang,
Oo nga
okay, may
eh.
marinig sila na good news.
Pero delikado
But
yun.
as 'di ba, as the government, it's their job to report
Oo, exactly.
actual what's
Oo.
happening. Pero the fact that they're lying about it, it means na we don't even know the real cases now kasi we already know that they're lying. So parang at this point, parang ako personally, wala, parang ang sad naman sabihin ko wala na akong pake na nangyayari, pero wala eh, parang gano'n na lang eh, kasi hindi
Hindi
ko
mo
na alam kung
alam.
ano yung totoo.
Yun
At
nga
nakikita
eh.
ko tumataas yung mga cases, 'di ba?
Actually,
Pero
Matt, I
Oo.
agree. Kasi parang nagkaroon din ako ng ganong feeling na sobrang dami ng nangyayari na parang hindi mo na ma-separate, ma-distinguish kung ano yung totoo.
exactly,
Oo
So
parang
parang
eh. Kung ano yung
you
totoo,
get
di ba?
that feeling na parang gusto mong bawiin yung feeling, pero
oo.
parang yun yung nararamdaman mo na parang kahit sige wala na akong pake kasi kumbaga
Parang
kay
ngayon,
sira-sira na lang.
yeah, kisera, parang ngayon, okay, you're on
Aminado
your
ako.
own, the government doesn't care
Minsan
anymore.
ganun din ako, di ba? Di ba? Kaya lang hindi dapat eh.
Kumbaga parang just trust na lang.
Yeah, we
Siguro
shouldn't
faith
be
na lang.
like that. It's so sad na we've been used to this. Alam mo
Well,
yun?
I really hope that fortune favors the bold.
I read an article before na I think with what's happening around the world, parang this whole COVID-19 pandemic daw is a dictator's best friend. And I read that article and it said kasi a lot of the countries na maraming right-wing ang mga governments nila, like us, sige,
Oh, wow.
us, Brazil, Ukraine or something, hindi ko alam.
Oo nga,
Parang
no?
ang nangyari, mas lalo silang nag-suppress ng mga freedom, ng mga human
Oh,
rights kasi nga
wow.
'di ba, we can't gather,
Oo
we can't
nga.
So parang 'di ba, natutuwa sila
Oh
and
my
it
gosh.
makes so much sense.
Oh, yeah,
Kaya 'di
because
ba,
that's
Oo
true.
nga.
That's true. Gives them
Oo,
control.
exactly.
Gives them
apparently
control.
tayo na yung may pinakamatagal na
Exactly,
lockdown sa buong mundo ngayon.
Totoo.
Really. I did not know that.
Yun nga
I did not
eh.
know that.
How many months have we been in quarantine?
Like,
We've been 4 months na.
Sa US ba, how's the situation sa US?
Sa US, oo.
Oo,
Tsaka
malala
parang
din
nire-resist din nila yung mga lockdown. Ibang klase naman din ng mga issue doon. Ayaw nga nila mag-mask. Diba?
Ibang
Ayaw nila
klase.
mag-mask.
Ayaw nila kasi
Yeah.
puro
Freedom.
sila
Well,
freedom.
that's their own prerogative, but yeah, safe lang din
Oo
naman. It's a
eh.
precaution. Kung ayaw mo mag-mask, sige.
Pero hindi eh, 'di ba?
And I
Parang alam mo
guess-
na ngang may sakit yung mga
kakalat
tao
lang
tapos
yan.
Yeah, I guess
hindi ka pa
that's good.
magmamask.
I guess that's good na meron silang freedom to do that. Pero, kumbaga, sarili mo na lang yun na ano eh. Hindi ka
Oo.
magmamask, sure ka.
O, yun
ikaw na
nga.
yung
Yeah, so wala kang
mahahawaan
pake
eh.
sa mga tao. Hindi yun eh.
Mhm.
Kung hindi ka mahawaan, wala kang pake sa ibang
Oo
tao na
nga.
makaka
Yeah, exactly.
ano mo. So 'di ba? Decency
Oo.
pa rin.
Kaya ang dami-dami nilang cases,
Mhm.
diba?
Pero, but I did not know that. Tayo
Oo,
pala yung
tayo yung
longest.
longest.
Oo,
quarantine.
tayo
I did
din.
not know that.
'Di ba? And nakakalungkot if you think about it. Thailand or Vietnam,
Wala
South
na,
Korea,
I
Japan, they're back to
know.
normal now.
Can you imagine?
You know what's the saddest part of it all is that it doesn't feel like quarantine to me na nga eh. Na parang it's just normal.
Parang
Na
business as
parang,
usual.
I go out. Yeah, parang I found a new routine na I go out every weekend to buy groceries and everything.
Naku, hindi pa pwede to.
Oo.
But then other than that, parang
Tita
wala na
Terry,
yung,
kailangan pa natin magkita.
Oo nga.
wala na yung feeling na parang wala na yung feeling at the back of my head na kailangan ko palang parang wala nang spontaneity na parang parang I feel like visiting this friend or that friend na or I feel like going to this mall or that mall. Parang wala na yun eh na parang
'Di ba? We got used to it.
Oo
we're just
nga.
stuck to
And
this
that's
routine.
That's wrong.
Kaya nga eh.
Mhm.
Kaya, you really have to be aware.
Hi. So Tita Terry, how are you coping up naman this so far for this
actually.
past few months?
Well, it's challenging, it's tough. Well, work-wise, okay na sana. I mean, we're all work from home. Business as usual despite that. But, after the decision of Congress, parang bigla na lang ano kami, na topsy-turvy kami emotionally. So, um,
Exactly.
oo
Topsy-turvy
Now we
talaga.
have to deal with fewer people. So, in fact, we don't even know who was let go. Kasi, syempre,
Oh,
kakaano pa
that's so
lang.
sad,
So
tita.
sad.
Hindi nyo alam.
Oo.
Hindi
But we just
talaga.
see
So,
in
parang nag-random ba, ganon?
Facebook, di ba? Isa-isa silang
But that's still
nagpapaalam.
the fact, no?
Hindi.
Parang,
Tita, I
people
saw nga
people
di
are being
ba?
laid
Ah,
off.
Apparently, ABS-CBN, maraming regional network ang ABS, di
oo.
ba? And that's so sad kasi even before na nung hindi pa talaga nagkaroon ng mga hearing, a lot of people in the provinces, in the far-flung provinces of the
Oo.
Philippines, ABS lang ang nakukuha nilang network, ay ang
Yes.
frequency, 'di ba?
Oo.
So parang the fact na wala na 'yon, so mas lalong
Mm.
hindi magiging aware ngayon yung
Yun
mga
nga.
tao. And I think yun yung isa sa mga big
Mhm.
issue. Then
Mhm.
lalo na that we're facing
And
a crisis right
keep in
now.
mind, there are these provinces na wala masyadong internet, na mabagal yung internet
Oo.
nila, and they just rely on
Exactly.
they just rely on
O yun
television, and
Or
nga.
ang
free television.
number one talaga
At
is
saka, can you
ABS. Number one talaga
imagine,
is ABS.
now na ang mga bata cannot go to school, okay sana if Channel 2
Mhm.
were
Mhm.
alive. Kasi, pwedeng dun mag-ere ng ano eh. Oo.
May
At saka
entertainment,
ng
'di ba?
classes. Ah,
Exactly, yeah,
oo.
Mhm.
Kasi,
pwede.
Mhm. Mhm.
we have, the Lopez family has a, ano bang tawag doon? Has a company called Knowledge Channel. So, yun,
Mm.
Oh
oo,
yeah, I heard
ano
about
siya,
that.
kumpleto siyang content, naka-align siya sa DepEd. So, i-ere mo na lang siya sa isang plataforma. But, if your plataforma is limited, yung reach niya is limited, yung mga bata sa malalayong lugar, hindi rin sila maaabot ng edukasyon. So, paano?
Exactly. Especially na parang what they're doing right now is online
Oo.
classes, 'di ba po,
Tapos
tita?
nira-rush pa
Mhm.
mag-start yung
Oo nga
classes, 'di
eh.
ba?
There are those naman
Walang
na wala namang
internet.
internet
Kaya
connectivity,
nga.
na ora-orada magkakaroon ng
Mm.
internet, ganun.
Ang daming ang nakikitang post sa Facebook ngayon ng mga basta they're asking they're looking to buy laptops and computers
Mhm.
tapos parang most of them don't
Oo,
have money and
imagine.
they keep asking na parang barter na lang, ganun. Parang
Kawawa.
nakakalungkot isipin nyo kasi
Which is,
gusto
Kaya
nila
nga
mag-aral
eh.
eh, 'di ba?
I suppose that's good. I suppose that's good for the company who
Yes,
sells a
yes.
laptop.
Well,
But for them,
capitalism is bad.
yeah, it's bad. But for them, the people who can't really afford it, parang they're just parang, parang country
Oo.
people
Right.
who live in the province. They can't
Oo
afford
nga.
that.
Sabay-sabay yung mga
'Di
crisis
ba?
na nangyayari ngayon
Eh,
Mhm.
pero with
oh
how
my
the
God.
government is actually working, hindi ko alam kung
Yun
nasan
nga
yung
eh.
priorities
Kasalanan
nila.
nga nila tong mga crisis na to, di ba? And,
Inuna pa nila
kaya
ipa-shutdown yung
nga,
ABS, no?
meron namang ibang, I mean, even yung prangkisa, pwede namang mag-operate habang pinag-uusapan yung prangkisa, di ba? Ang dami daw ganun eh. Di ba?
Yun nga
Pero,
eh, 'di ba? Wala eh,
oo, alam mo
pina-shutdown
talaga
ka
na
agad.
pinag-iinitan, kaya hindi talaga fair.
So, would you say, tita, would you say na tinarget po talaga
Oo,
ang
it's
ABS,
really
or because of something?
personal. Personal ng presidente yan. Sigurado yan.
Totoo.
Sigurado.
It's
Kaya,
very bad.
Siguradong
oo.
sigurado. You have to be blind and
Mm,
like, or like a
not to see
DDS
it.
to actually
Oo
Mhm.
nga.
believe
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
was not personal. Kasi,
It's
and
very
apparently a lot of the people who are DDS, they kept saying daw na, 'di ba may script sila
Oo,
palaging
oo.
sinusunod, tita?
Oo.
Na parang
may teleprompter.
sumunod na lang
The
tayo sa law,
law
blah
is
blah
the
blah.
law.
Hindi nga nasunod yung law. Sinabi nga
Hindi,
lahat ng agencies na
exactly.
walang na-violate ang
Kaya nga.
ABS, pero
Kaya nga
wala,
eh. Talagang,
'di ba?
ang
Nakakainis.
ano talaga, dinedeny din ng mga congressmen na, parang, natakot sila sa presidente, or sinasabi pa nga, nabayaran ba kayo? O
Mga
okay,
walang bayag.
nabayaran ba kayo? Ganyan. So, syempre, i-deny nila yan. Kaya lang, alam na alam mo eh. Pero unang-una kasi, yung Congress, karamihan sa kanila, talagang, kandidato ng Duterte yan. So dun
Opo,
pa
of
lang
course.
dun pa lang medyo tagilid na tayo bilang bansa, 'di ba? Maaring hindi tayo bumoto ng tama kasi ang naboto ng mga tao yung ayon sa
It's the
government.
same old people,
Yun
the same old
nga,
families.
exactly. Ayan nga
Nagro-rotate-rotate
ang
lang sila
oligarchy,
dyan.
di ba? Political oligarchy yan.
Opo, tita. Speaking of the oligarchy nga, yung house
Oh
speaker
my
natin, si
gosh,
Alan
di
Cayetano.
ba? Buong pamilya niya.
Buong pamilya niya ata nasa
Yun
nasa
nga,
politics
isama mo
ngayon.
pa yung tatay niya, di ba? Kasama rin yan eh.
Nakakalungkot tita kasi yung tatay niya si
Oo,
kumpanyero, 'di ba? 'Di ba ABS ang
exactly.
nagpasikat sa
May
kanya?
programa siya sa ABS eh.
Mm,
Oo.
of course. When was that ba?
Oo,
90s
yeah,
pa?
yeah. A long time ago.
Matagal na.
Bata pa
Bata pa kami, di
kayo.
pa kami
Pero
buhay.
buhay na kayo doon. Malamang. Malamang.
Oh,
Yes.
Oo.
okay. Pero 'di ba? So parang wala silang utang na loob na hindi, if not for ABS, walang Cayetano ngayon,
Exactly.
'di ba?
Oo. Hindi sila
Hindi
sisikat.
sila sikat.
Oo nga. Kaya,
Kaya grabe talaga yung mga ideologies ng mga politicians. They don't really represent the people.
hindi
They only do it
talaga.
for their own sake.
Yes.
And that has to change. And I hope this whole thing would happen with the network. I hope talaga na matauhan na yung taong
Oo.
bayan na
Oo.
I hope so too.
we have to elect the people that really
Kaya nga
represent
eh.
us. And ako, tita, personally, I would work so hard talaga. I will
Oo,
remember all those
please.
71 ba
70.
people who
Oo.
voted talaga.
Kinakalat talaga yung mga pangalan nila
Nako
eh.
yun.
Oo.
Sobra. Kasi,
Kaya nga.
grabe.
Ngayon,
Nakakalungkot.
minsan para talagang mapapaisip ka na, ba't nagkaganito yung bansa, di ba? Parang, we had
No.
some gains naman even before. But suddenly, it's all gone. So, in an instant, it's gone. And that's very sad. And we have 2 years to go. We have 2 years to go
I
before
know,
the next
tita.
elections.
Ito nga naisip ko nga na parang the 2 years with the whole that's happening now, especially I think today was the anti-terror law has
Yes,
actually
yes.
been
Oo.
applied now, and that's actually a
Oo.
scary thing. I think with all that's happening now, parang ewan ko, I only read this on Twitter. Will we even actually have an
Exactly.
election in 2 years?
Yun
Parang
nga eh. Yun nga yung sasabi ng mga tao eh. Will we even have elections? Nakakatakot, di ba? I mean, he can easily
nakakatakot
say
talaga.
na martial law na tayo, wala na tayong election. I'm your dictator.
Ako, tita, na ako
Diba?
naniniwala ko, de facto martial law na talaga to. Feeling ko talaga, ito yung parang theory
Oo,
ko,
oo.
conspiracy theory lang na, with the whole issue about hearing or just like
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
It's
martial law,
happening now.
I think, sa rami ng mga abuses na ginawa, martial law na talaga to,
It's
hindi na talaga
happening now.
pinangalan. Itong anti-terror law na to, that's
Kaya
basically
nga,
martial law,
EJK,
yeah.
di ba? Baka it might be worse pa nga eh. Di ba?
Oo nga, tita. Tita, did you watch the yung
No.
the Aswang film?
No,
Did
I
you
heard about it.
hear about
Was
that?
it good?
Sayang.
Was it?
Mm-mm. It was so
Wow.
good.
CSB daw
I mean,
yun?
it's a docu about hindi ko po sure. Si
Oo?
Alex Arampa.
Okay,
Hindi ko
okay.
sure eh. I didn't know. I'll ask the professors. Pero ang galing niya. She's a female
Really?
filmmaker. Galing.
Oh.
And I liked what she talked about. Napanood mo ba yung Jack? Yung Aswang? Yung docu? Yung
Yeah, napanood ko yun.
Oh. Sayang, tita. Sana, I think available
Talaga?
pa. At I think parang gagawa ng paraan yung filmmaker na mapalabas ulit. Kasi
One day lang
I
eh.
think dapat sa
Oo.
festival siya ipapalabas
Tsaka,
eh. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Pero ngayon kasi with everything that's happening,
so
I think
relevant.
pinalabas niya online para talaga mas maganahan
Oo.
yung
But
mga tao.
I watched yung 1,000 Cuts, yung kay Maria Ressa. Diba?
Oh, yes.
Yun pa lang
Yun
eh.
din,
Grabe
tita.
yun,
Oh,
diba?
yeah. Is she still
Oh, no,
nakakulong
no.
pa rin
I'm
ba
sure
siya?
she's out on bail. She's out
Hindi na
on
ata.
bail.
Hindi na.
Ilang beses na siya
Kaya
nag-bail,
nga.
di ba? Yung sa,
Kasi-
napanood mo ba
Magkano
yung
na
docu,
yung
Jack?
ginagastos niya
pero-
for bail?
Mayaman naman yung
Oo,
family niya
oo.
eh, di
Pero
ba?
every time, I go online, I always see Maria Ressa. It's always an issue.
Pero, yun nga, well, anong issue?
Na parang, free her, ganun.
Pero kasi, Rappler,
Kasi that's
the
Rappler
agency
eh,
that she
that's Rappler.
started,
Oo.
I think you have to give her credit. It started as an independent news
Oo.
network lang, pero alam mo yun,
It is,
it's very
it is.
good. It's good
It
journalism
is.
talaga. They were the ones talagang nasa frontline nung nagsimula nung nakaupo si
Oo.
Duterte regarding the drug war.
Oo,
Sila
actually
nag-highlight
magaling
nun.
sila.
Kaya magagalit si
Oo
Duterte.
nga eh. Pero
Exactly.
kita mo what kind of person he is, di ba? Talagang pinepersonal niya. Sino yung isang writer ng Rappler? Si Pia Ranyada. Naka-ban siya.
Pia,
Oo,
yung sa
naka-ban siya.
Malacanang.
So parang, bakit ganito? Bakit may...
Yung part sa
Oo.
movie, tita, yung parang marami sila tapos si Duterte nandito tapos
Hindi siya pwede
si
pumasok.
Pia, as in parang magkaharap lang. Di siya, parang yun yung atang nag-trigger kay Duterte na talagang hindi na to
Oo.
pwede. Kasi parang may tinatanong
Kaya
siya eh.
nga.
parang hindi ko alam kung napikon or like
Oo.
naasar. Pero kasi grabe yung tanong niya, parang siya lang yung nagtanong sa lahat ng
Oh.
journalist na gano'n.
Parang sabi ko
Oo.
nga po, tita, these times seem very
Mhm.
Orwellian. Parang
Oo
big
nga.
brother system
Sobra.
tayo,
Oo.
big brother
Talaga.
system.
Talaga. But
1984.
you know,
It's
uh
very,
what's good about this time for you guys is that this is this is your EDSA. Kasi kami ni 'di ba?
oh,
This is your
I love that.
EDSA and people power. Kasi oo,
People Power 3.
'di ba
Yes.
the
Gusto ko yan, tita.
millennials masyadong um hindi naman, I don't know what word ha, pero parang people say, ay nako, they're so carefree and happy-go-lucky. But actually, the millennials have very strong beliefs and they like advocacies of their own, di ba? But maybe this is a good
Mhm.
trigger or a good starting point. Um, every
Of course,
generation,
tita.
oo,
And I
every
believe that.
generation,
Kailangan may
oo,
revolusyon.
has to have a defining moment, 'di ba? So nung dati nung panahon ng parents ko, World War II. Nung panahon namin, it's EDSA. So, sana ito yung maging defining moment ng generation nyo, 'di ba?
I hope so, tita. And I hope more of us, more of our generation actually
Well,
be more
the only
aware
the
and
only
speak
sad
out.
thing I can see personally is that there's always a pattern na history always repeats
Mm.
itself na kailangan lagi magkakaroon ng
True.
defining
Oo.
moment or kailangan lagi magkakaroon ng
Oo.
revolution. Like, kailan ba talaga tayo magkakaroon ng absolutong
A
peace?
utopia.
Hindi naman utopia, parang absolutong ano lang, like walang ganitong nangyari, walang COVID, walang
I don't
EDSA,
think hindi
walang
mangyayari yon, especially with like the
Mhm.
world now,
mhm.
physically, the world, the
Oo.
earth. 'Di
Oo,
ba? Global
right, right,
warming,
right.
environmental
Right.
changes. Sinasabi ko, ako naniniwala ko na, napapansin niyo ba,
Oo,
ang init
climate
ngayon,
change.
July ngayon,
Sobrang init.
napakainit.
Dapat umuulan na eh. 'Di ba?
Pero umuulan, tita, pero pag umuulan, sobrang lakas naman.
Oo.
So, 'di ba usually
Oo
mga
nga.
ambon
Oo.
lang pag mga ganito.
Yeah.
Pero normal naman yung bagyo
I
sa
really do
atin.
feel like the gods have cursed these
Oo,
times.
baka talagang nagagalit na sila.
Oh, speaking of like revolution na pala, I just wanna
Mm.
share. Like, 'di ba? Parang kasi I mean, I don't wanna na-meet ko siya before familiar ba kayo tita kay
Oh
Susan
yeah, she
Kimpo?
passed away, 'di ba?
Yung mga
She
Kimpo
passed away.
family. She passed away, tita, and I'm so sad kasi parang I met her actually through our professor, Sir JP, documentary class tapos and her whole
Her
family was
family.
actually
Yes,
tortured
during Marcos time.
and during
Yes.
martial law and I mean siya
Hindi.
personally hindi
Oo,
ata pero siya
oo.
yung bunso
Pero
eh ganun.
grabe yung pinagdaanan,
Pero
'di
she
ba?
actually grabe yung pinagdaanan ng family and she just
Yeah.
died. So parang namamatay na yung mga heroes natin from another generation. So parang
It's
it's
your
really our
time,
time
'di
na
ba?
talaga.
Kumbaga, it's a
Yeah,
call, it's a call
the young
na
have to step up.
I read this,
Mm.
mhm. I read this parang quote nga na parang, I just recently activated my Facebook
Mm.
kasi ulit. So parang recent lang po ako, parang ngayon ko lang ulit nakikita yung mga, political
Oo.
posts and everything. Parang I read this parang post na sabi, it's basically inviting the young generation to, now's the time for us to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, you have to be heard.
Kumbaga, bravery is a necessity daw.
Bravery is a necessity. That's nice.
It's an obligation,
Oo.
especially at these
Oo, kailangan
times.
natin 'yan. Kailangan natin ngayon, 'di ba? So,
Mhm. It's very
oo
sad to
nga
think
eh.
about.
It's this
Pero maiba
sige.
naman po ako, tita,
Okay,
sana
sige,
kung
Jack.
okay lang.
Mm.
Kasi feeling ko parang political
Okay.
talks na tayo.
Sige, Jack.
Oo.
Okay,
Na maiba
go.
lang po, would you care to share to the audience who you are personally outside
Who
of
I
your
am.
work? Like what you like to
Oh my
do, like,
gosh.
what are
Okay.
your kung ano po kayo, like kung ano kayo without ABS kasi now wala talagang
Okay.
ABS. Without ABS talaga kayo.
Sige. Well, I have no hobbies. Paano kaya yun, ano? I'm such a boring person. Well, I'm a mom. I have 3 kids, yeah. Kasama pa si Javi dyan. Yes.
Of course, tita. You should count
Yes.
him out. Birthday
Oo,
lang siya
ng July
recently, 'di
4.
ba?
Yes.
So,
Independence Day ng
oo.
US.
Ano ba? I like to read. I like to watch, what? I like to watch YouTube videos of recipes. Yeah.
Yan.
And ang
Nagluto kayo, tita.
baking I like to bake more than cooking. Oo, yan ang aking
Baking.
tawag
Mhm.
dito. Stress reliever. Pag nagbe-bake ako,
What
mga
kind of
cookies lang, mga
dishes?
cookies, cupcakes. Pag nasistress ako, ayan, magbe-bake ako. Alam na ng mga bata kapag nasistress ako.
Busog
Yes.
sila palagi.
Mhm.
Sugar overload. So, yun.
So what else do you do, tita, na, I guess to alleviate the boredom in
Uh,
these times?
they're good, they're good.
Mhm.
Si Nikki, nagsara yung restaurant. You used to go there, di ba? Yung gourmet, oo.
Of course. Yeah,
Gourmet
yung, ano
gypsy.
pa
So,
yun?
Yeah.
gypsy.
Gourmet
Gourmet.
kitchen.
Hindi.
Gypsy.
Gourmet.
Basta
Gourmet
Oo.
sa ano,
gypsy. Yeah.
basta malapit sa
Sa
Ortigas, malapit
Roses,
sa Ortigas.
QC.
Oo.
QC,
Rojas.
So,
Ayan.
Rojas.
nagsara. So, nihintay niya magbukas yung school para doon siya mag-work.
Ay, naapektuhan yung
Oo,
restaurant, tita.
unfortunately,
With a,
oo. Si
oh.
Jose, papasok ng law school, malapit na this week. Yeah!
Oh, shit.
Abogado.
Congrats.
Wow.
Abogado. Di
Yes, may
ba?
abogado
Oo.
na sa family. Following the dad.
The
Oo.
second lawyer of the
Oo.
family.
Well, ako, I like to listen to podcasts. So, tama-tama. Yes,
Like this
oo.
one.
But, yun, sa Netflix sometimes, but, I spend a long time choosing a film to watch. And then, bigla na lang ang papanoorin ko yung mga second-tier movies. Ewan ko ba kung bakit. Saka,
What's second
yung
tier to you,
mga,
tita?
meron Jewish. Walang ko. I forget now. This is,
Netflix original
oo.
to.
This is
Ganun.
about a Jewish guy na parang looking for his direction in life. I forgot. Anyway.
Parang student film lang. Okay, second tier nga.
Well,
Yeah, but it's fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
tita, I
yeah.
wanna ask you, since you're actually, working in
Mm-hmm.
the creative industry, what kind of films or TV series do you think are actually yung patok
Patok
sa
sa
mga
Pinoy.
Pinoy, especially now, 'di ba? That we're actually, we're actually home. We're more consuming
Okay,
media more
okay.
now. So,
cabin fever.
especially to us as artists, 'di ba? Parang
Yikes.
ako, personally, I want to create my
Okay.
own TV series, pero kasi usually kasi ang mga Pinoy, 'di ba, mahilig sa mga
Oo.
Korean
Oo
shows or
nga.
Yeah,
American
that's
Oo
what's
nga,
sad
no?
nga. That's what's sad nga. Kasi Filipinos would rather turn to parang Eastern other like Eastern Asians,
Oo.
like Koreans
Oo
and
nga.
Japanese films.
Feeling ko kasi, ang idea ko dyan, yung identity kasi natin, 'di ba, na-colonize tayo ng maraming
Mhm.
kaya normal lang 'yun. So, pero what do you think, tita? Ano sa tingin niyo yung pwedeng maging patok?
Patok in terms of numbers ng manonood o in terms of buzz?
Or like in terms of themes or like
Okay.
like the shows. I mean, I think with ABS, 'di ba, tita? Okay yung mga original shows
Okay.
yung nasa I Want. I
Ah,
watched some of those.
kung sa masa, ganito kung masa ang pinag-uusapan, ang patok sa masa ay stories of revenge, tsaka yung mga nangangaliwang asawa.
Soap
Oo.
operas,
Pero
basically.
yun nangangaliwang asawa. Gustong-gusto nila yun, yung nagsasampalan, yung mga nag-aaway.
So nothing has really changed in the past 3 decades.
Yes.
Kasi kung
Nagsimula ba yan, tita, sa nung yung mga telenovela, yung
Yeah, if you're gonna look back
Zico?
at our,
Oo.
media or teleseries, parang it's always the same story na may
Nangangaliwa.
nangangaliwa. It's either nangangaliwa or may
Oo.
superhero, ganun, super ingo.
Yung mga
Oo.
sampalan na episode
Hindi
din
kasi-
yung patok palagi eh.
Or Kampanyerang Kuba.
Pero,
It's
but
always the
you
same
know,
story.
kasi, there's a segment of the market. Ang tawag namin sa kanila ay family rock. The rock of the family. Oo, who is the
Rock.
mom? Yung ilaw ng tahanan,
Ilaw ng
haligi ng
tahanan.
tahanan. Yan ang concerns niya. Ang concern niya primarily is to keep the family together. Kaya kapag mayroong mga storya tungkol sa yan nangangaliwa, interesado siya. Kasi ayaw niya mangaliwa yung asawa niya, di ba? Tsaka
Yeah, that's a good concept.
So the target market pala talaga is, the
oo, kasi
housewives. The
Sila lang yung nasa bahay palagi eh.
The Filipina
oo,
housewives.
those are the themes that are important to her. Everything that revolves around the family. Kaya yung super ingo, yan, importante yan. And if you let's say probinsyano, 'di ba, nakakasawa na. Akala namin magtatapos na yung probinsyano, hindi pa natatapos.
Yun nga eh. Yung shutdown lang pala yung
Diba?
magtatapos doon.
Akala rin po namin, tita.
Pero
Nasa Netflix yung ang
brother.
probinsyano, di ba?
Yeah. Well, I guess
The
that's
brother.
good.
The
'cause
brother.
we're going
Yes.
international
But if
na pala.
you watch probinsyano, they're very strong on family values. 'Di ba?
And
Oo,
yung close-knit communities.
exactly.
I guess naman po, tita, that's always been the point of our media, of our
Oo.
stories.
Oo.
Family values, ganun.
Yun-
Yung po and opo, magmamano, ganun. Or respect your
yun naman.
elders. It's always been
Oo.
the...
Kami naman, if we have the family rock, who values family togetherness, meron pang isang segment na maaring strong din yung probinsyano. Tawagin natin siyang the Pinoy Charmer. Yung Pinoy Charmer can be a man or a woman, a mom or a dad. Na ang importante sa kanya, bukod sa yung family, yung togetherness niya with his friends and with his barkada. Parang ang epitome niyan si Dolphy, si Vic Soto. And
The funny
maybe
guy.
nade-develop si Cardo Dalisay, 'di ba? Tama ka, palaging kasama niya yung mga office mates, yung kasama niya sa police department, 'di ba?
Yes.
Oo,
Police
police mates.
mates.
Palagi yung tropa niya, palagi niya kasama yung tropa. So, kaya type na type ng mga tao yon kasi nakaka-relate sila. So, kailangan, the themes
Exactly.
should talk
Yeah.
about those that people can relate to. And,
Or, the core of being
exactly.
Filipino lang
Yes.
po, I think.
And,
Tita, may
Core
another
values.
Okay.
follow-up question. Do you think dark comedies will work in our with
What's
will patok?
I'm actually
aside
also
from your
interested to know
thesis
the
film,
answer.
which I saw, what's
Thank you.
Tarantadong Mundo by
what's
Matthew
another
Palayo.
example of a dark comedy na mainstream? May anong example nun?
Okay.
Anything with
Epi
Epi Kizon
Epic
in it.
Um,
Pinoy blonde,
siguro
ganun.
ngayon, yung recent na, alam niyo yung nasa Netflix, tita, yung pangarap
Hindi
kong
ko pa
hold up.
napapanood, pero
Napanood niyo
nakita
ba
ko
yun?
siya. Hindi pa.
Yeah, so it's about hold-uppers, tapos parang
Mhm.
parang heist movie siya, ganun.
Actually,
Pero
parang naalala
yung
ko nga
theme
marami
niya hold
yatang
up, 'di ba?
marami yatang nagalit dun sa film na yun,
Talaga?
as I remember. Because of the title, 'di ba? Because
Well,
of
'di
the
ba?
title.
Pero the fact
Mhm.
it's a dark comedy, pero if you
Mhm.
actually watched it,
Ah.
it's funny naman, pati yun nga. Wala, comment ko lang doon, very masculine yung energy kasi. So typical, alam mo yun, sakay patok siya sa, 'di ba, mga lalaki, ganun.
Oo.
So yeah, pero wala, ako kasi ganun yung gusto kong mga isulat mga dark
Oo.
comedies. Pero kasi nare-realize ko, baka mamaya knowing ang tawag dito, parang baka masyadong ma-offend yung mga viewers or something, gano'n. And
Well,
baka di siya
siguro, Matt,
pumatok.
Oo.
write it lang
Yeah,
muna
yeah.
and then deal
But-
with it later. If it's your story naman, your art.
For the way I write kasi,
Just do it,
like
just do
siguro
it.
Tita, I'll just
Mhm.
share this to you.
Oo.
Is I think parang 50% creative and 50%
Ah.
business pa gano'n. Parang I wanna,
Mhm.
iniisip ko agad kung I think that's a good way to
Oo. Yeah,
actually
yeah.
be
You have
proactive
Yeah.
kasi,
to adapt.
'di ba? Baka sulat lang ako
Oo.
ng sulat, di naman pala to market. So, syempre isip ko rin yung
Oo.
marketability. Kaya
Sig
doon ako
Oo.
nagwe-weigh ng options.
Siguro ano, hindi 'wag masyadong art house. 'Wag masyadong art house. Ah,
Okay.
That's
Tumawag
my
si Jack,
problem.
tita. Kasi art house ang
hindi.
si Jack
Pero
talaga yan.
if that is your philosophy, yung part business and part creativity, then yun yung naiisip ko, 'wag masyadong art house. But may kanya-kanyang market yon. Like, kung art house,
Mhm.
yan ang pang festival, 'di ba? Kasi you will be judged
Yeah,
based on
gets.
siguro primarily the creativity of the film itself. Oo.
The
Pero
film.
kasi nga may iba-ibang segment na market eh, 'di ba? Sabi natin yung family rock, yung Pinoy Charmer. Yes,
There's the
meron namang
housewife.
market kasi na they're really adventurous in nature as people. So they're willing to try new things and watch, new genres. Uh, meron palaging ganun. So it's not that wala siyang market. It might be smaller, pero meron. May manonood.
Yeah. And I think with the whole streaming now, I think mas okay na yung those types of
Oo.
content kasi hindi na siya, parang you don't actually have to think of the typical masa nga na,
Oo.
'di ba? Na market lang. Meron ng market online which is
Oo.
more, I think that's the future of like television and cinema is actually going there.
Oo.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
ako naman talaga, tita, I really wanna go mainstream talaga.
Mhm.
'Di ba? Like idol ko si Wendy Ramos, tita, 'di ba? So, alam mo 'yun. Gusto ko talaga i-channel ang
At
pagiging Wendy Ramos
ikaw
ko.
ang bago.
Well, that's actually good for you, Matt, kasi yung audience mo, yung mga ka-age din natin na yun yung bagong
Oo, oo.
mainstream. So,
Oo,
makaka-relate
'yun.
talaga sila.
Yung parang mainstream na hindi naman may onting art house. I
Oo.
wouldn't
Mm.
necessarily call myself art house, but at the same time, syempre may ano pa rin, 'di ba? Creative pa rin yung ano.
Kumbaga, nandun na tayo sa pagsisibol ng makabagong revolusyon ng
Oo,
malayang sinig ng
oo.
pelikula.
Sayang nga Matt eh, 'di
Or
ba?
parang tayo, new wave na, ika
Oo.
nga.
No, sayang,
You were
Sorry,
saying.
tita,
sayang
you were
yung
saying something.
project mo, 'di ba? Na binbin. 'Di ba you were trying out for this
Oh,
Mhm.
comedy writers. 'Di ba?
oh,
Sayang
tita,
na
no,
Yeah,
binbin.
sobra.
yeah.
Hindi talaga
Sobra.
ay,
I
pero
know.
in
Yeah.
fairness, talagang hindi talaga natuloy 'yon dahil magulo na 'yon. Oo. And
Oo nga eh.
Yun ang
Pero
anong
syempre,
malay
dream ko talaga
mo? Anong
ABS,
malay mo?
tita, 'di ba?
Pero
yari naging
parang nagsushoot na ba uli ngayon? Parang hindi pa full blast, pero parang may nababalitaan ko na
Hindi
I
pa.
think hindi pa po
unti-unti.
yata.
Pero in-announce yung parang itutuloy pa
Yun
rin
nga
yung
eh.
Metro Manila
Paano
Film
kaya
Fest sa
yun?
December.
That's
Paano
good.
kaya yun?
Well,
Yun nga
let's
paano
see,
kaya
let's see,
yun,
Oo.
'di
let's see.
ba?
Ang
Mm.
strict yata. Yes, yes,
Anyway,
Jack.
mm.
No.
Sige, sorry,
No,
tita.
I'm
Continue
good.
lang, sorry.
Yes.
Hindi, I was gonna ask lang po kung how is it, na parang, how are you doing in terms of expression and, work lang po, work-wise.
Work-wise.
Kumbaga, in conclusion lang. Like, do you have any last minute,
Like after with everything that happened, like
like, do you have
what's
any last minute
moving forward for you?
insights or advices, especially that you said na, sabi nyo nga po, was it 14 years ba?
Yes,
Tama po ba
yes.
ako na you
Oo,
were in the
14
industry for
years.
14 years?
Oo.
Yeah. Do you have any last minute insights or advices that you can
Ah,
give to, the filmmakers of today or the people or the audience of today?
mm, to the audience of today. Siguro, what? Wait lang. Siguro to the filmmakers,
Mhm.
parang despite the limitations that are facing you guys now, limitations on, we can't really film full blast. I think this is a good time to parang hatch new ideas in preparation for full blast production. Maybe not to lose hope. Uh, Parang I consider this phase to be like a vacation that we did not really expect, but it is golden time nevertheless. So let's make best use of it.
Give us the time
Oo.
to think.
And ako siguro overall, the overall theme of our lives, this is such a corny thing eh. Pero if you think about it, no,
Sige lang po, go lang.
if you think about it, parang I think we have no other resort but to be hopeful, di ba? But really to be hopeful na
Exactly.
things will turn around and oo,
I
and
hope so.
parang this happens for a reason. I've heard a million cliches ever since the shutdown happened. Talagang a million cliches. Pero there's still some truth to it. Diba? Be hopeful. Things will turn around and
Keep fighting
yes,
for what is right.
oo.
Just learn to adapt
Go with the
to
flow,
the times.
ganyan. Kasi, I liken it to grief when I lost Javi. 'Di ba? Parang pag namatayan ka, parang sa palagay mo namatay ka na rin, 'di ba? Ayoko bumangon ganyan. But true enough, they say na there's always a bright side. It does not define you as a person. But it will be okay. And indeed, it will be okay. 'Di ba? I'm still
There's always a
Oo,
rainbow
'di ba?
after the
Isa ka
rain.
pa.
It's a cliche.
Ano ba ba?
Sige.
Just always pray at
Yes,
night. Mga
'di ba?
ganon.
Or,
Beggars
beggars
can't
can
be
choose.
choosers. Mga ganyan.
It's my
Life,
favorite.
Love is
time is
blind. Mga
gold.
ganon.
Mga ganyan. Pero there's still some truth to it. Wag lang tayo mawalan ng loob. Kasi may dahilan tong lahat. And there will be
Yeah, and of course, Tita, I like that you mentioned Javi. And yeah, for the sake of everyone who's listening, Javi was our
that's why
blockmate
we're
back in college,
friends.
and Tita Terry's son. Yeah, who
Mm-mm.
passed away like a few years ago, but he's still in
Oo.
our hearts always. And like I see that Tita siguro like to
Mm-mm.
finally end our podcast. I always like go back to what Javi says about yung hashtag synchronicity, 'di ba? Palagi
Synchronicity,
sinasabi.
Yeah.
yes, diba?
Lagi.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yes.
Synchronicity. Synchronesty iced tea.
Ano nga
'Di ba? Parang everything,
happens
'di ba? Well,
for a
everything happens
reason?
for a
Oo. Oh
reason
my
kahit
gosh.
papaano,
Oo
even if
nga,
it's
no?
so unfair and stuff, pero
Oo.
it will actually pay off
Yes.
in the end. Parang it's just sad for
Oo.
now.
Exactly.
Yeah, as long as, we remember to, parang just be
Oo.
together as
Oo.
friends and just help each other out.
Correct. Correct,
We're here
correct.
for each other and just push through. Everything will
Oo
be
nga.
alright soon. I'd like to believe. I'd like to believe
It's
that.
true.
Sana. And knock on wood.
It's
Knock
true.
on
It's
wood.
true. I've been there. Kaya and now I'm going through it again. So parang that brings me hope that I've survived all this time. So I will
Yeah.
And we should.
we
We shall. We
survived,
shall.
diba? So we will survive.
In the words of who was this? In the words of
Mhm.
Ernest Hemingway, humans are not made for defeat.
Oh,
A man can be destroyed but not
that's so
defeated.
nice.
Sa akin naman, in the words of Gloria Gaynor, I will survive.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Hey,
I
I
love
will
that.
survive.
Wala
Kayo,
eh.
tita, meron
Yay!
ba kayong quote to
Wala
end
kayo
our
naman.
podcast? Ay, hindi
No,
kayo
sana
handa.
pala.
Sinabihan namin kayo, tita. Joke!
Oh,
Dapat pala may
hindi,
assignment na
oh,
every
yun na
episode
yung
may
time is gold.
quotes.
Walang kinalaman.
Okay,
Time's
very,
gold.
very ano naman, very cliche.
Diba? Yun.
Pero
Anyway,
yeah, so thank you,
Hey, thank you
tita.
guys.
thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Tita. That's all the time
Thank
we have for
you.
tonight. Thank you very much. And
Hindi,
sorry
okay
po
lang.
ulit
No
na delay
problem.
tayo. Ganun.
Hindi,
Matutulog
okay
na yata
lang.
dapat kayo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And
Thank you
shout
very
out.
much
Oy, we
anyway.
forgot shout out to
And
Tita
yeah,
San
anyway,
Jose.
we just wanna
Shout out to
Thank
Jose
you.
for
Thank
helping
you,
Tita
Jose.
pala,
we
di ba,
wanna
with the
thank Jose
technical.
Yes.
Villareal for helping
Thank
us with the
you.
audio.
Hey, I hope to see you guys
Yeah.
sometime.
Thank you po.
Come over.
Of course,
Come
Yes
over.
po, Tita.
Yeah.
Sana.
Kahit magda-drive-thru lang ako dyan para di ba may
Sige.
social
Pero,
distancing
you
pa
know,
rin.
syempre we
I
have to
know, yun
practice
nga.
social
Sige.
distancing. I'm gonna shout from the next street. You're gonna shout from the next
Pwede
street.
na rin.
Ganun.
Sige.
Anyway,
Thank you.
thank you po,
Thank
Tita,
you
ulit.
guys.
Thank you, Tita. And
You
of
have very
course,
Ingat
ingat po
kayo.
kayo.
Ingat.
This has been Ginsomnia Nights, introducing Mrs. Teresita Villareal as our guest. And once again, Matthew Palayo as my co-host.
Hey, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. And this has been Ginsomnia Nights. And I have been your host. I'm Jack Pacheco. Good night.
Thank you. Night, guys.
Thank you, Tita.
Thank you, everybody.